Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Perspectives, a podcast that takes on current cultural and social issues through a clinical lens. Hey everybody, thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much. Hello, hello. All right. Welcome back. Thank you for those of you who are joining us all again. I feel a little bit nervous about today. Okay, you can probably tell. A little different intro. Let me try that again. Welcome to those who are brand new and all of those you have joined us before. Thank you for returning. Your tip of the day is you are more important than the issue. And I'm a little off my game today. I'm not gonna hold back. This last week has been very, very frustrating for me. And I'm going to set an example today. I'm going to show you what it is that I would hope you are also capable of doing. In the last week, I've learned some things. In my situation, I would actually say I've even relearned some things. There's some stuff going on in the world. Those of you who watched my last or listened to my last podcast, I did a perspectives on the Charlie Kirk situation, and I mostly talked about grief. I kept it pretty clinical. And in the week since then, I waited a couple of days. So this is probably 4 days ago or so, 5 days ago that I recorded, because I waited a couple of days after he was murdered. And I did that for some specific reasons. But the issue that I'm dealing with today is something that I think I just have to set an example, and then hope that and pray that some of you out there in the world who are not filled with hatred can hear this message and maybe even apply it to your life. You are more important than the issue. That's the tip of the day. But where this comes from is, what the heck is wrong with me? Wait a minute, that's a pretty big change. What the heck is wrong with me? That is the question I have been asking. That is the question that you ought to be asking, and not what's wrong with Jeremiah. That's my question to ask. You should be asking what's wrong with, put your name in there. Today, I'm going to tell you something that has come to the surface in the aftermath of a murder to somebody who was a public figure. And I think this is the right path to take. I know I talked about evil and righteousness. Look, I am far from perfect. And I work really, really hard to be as good as I can be. I don't force my issues on people. I don't force you to see the world how I see the world. I'm offering you a perspective. You get to decide, does it fit? Does it not fit? Do I need more information? I provide you that opportunity with the things that I bring up. Today, I've been facing, well, in the last few days, I've been facing my own inadequacy. For the last 25 years, one of my biggest personal challenges, and one that has resurfaced in the last week, is my disdain or judgments on people who I believe are intentionally being naive. Now, if you listen to my last podcast, you probably heard that starting to come out. Naivete is often, not always, but oftentimes it's a choice. There is a lot of naivete, and much of it is probably on purpose. People confirming their own bias, sticking to their narratives, being complete a-holes. I know you've seen it, and you hear the judgment in there. Understand, it's not my place to judge, but good Lordy, this is a tough one for me. So hang in there with me, and I hope by the time I'm done here, well, I'll do a little bit better because I'm going to work on it. But secondarily, you'll have a process that might help you do a little bit better as well. I have been absolutely toying with judgmentalness and anger, frustration, irritation, these big concepts over the last week. And I'm telling you this because I'm going to use that to teach. I'm going to use my temptation to be angry, to take it out on people, to help you understand what it is you have to do. So I'll start off with this. Number one, I had to acknowledge my blind spot. I've gone many years thinking I have increased my patience and my empathy to a level that I am not very vulnerable to the judgment that I am feeling right now. Except I am very susceptible to it. And I am being reminded that if I don't do my diligence, that I will become judgmental, angry, irritated to a level where I could definitely see myself walking up and being like, you're an effing idiot. And the hard thing for me is I have to remember I was in the Marine Corps. I was trained to potentially have to hurt people. And if somebody popped off with the wrong thing at that point, and I was already in the mindset of judging, I'm capable of hurting people too. And I can't forget that. I can't forget that. Not for a moment. I mean, I was under the impression I was doing better than I'm actually doing. And this isn't about the Charlie Kirk situation. That's just what brought it to the surface. This is a me problem. And here's the thing. You have a you problem. You need to search it out, acknowledge it. And then when you find that thing, that spot that fires you up, follow my lead. Put it out in the open. This is terrifying a little bit because let me be real. You knowing my vulnerability. Well, couldn't you take advantage of me then? Well, you could try. And some people probably will. They will probably project naivete in my direction. The good news is, if I deal with my blind spot, then I'll probably see through your BS blind spots. And when you're trying to troll me, I'm going to be more likely to use the weapon of silence that I talked about in the last podcast, which, by the way, has not been easy, but I've been doing it. I'm acknowledging my inadequacy publicly so that you can win, so that you can be better. Also, so that I can transform and be better as well. So step one is acknowledge my blind spot. Doing that. Step two, put it out in the open. When it's out in the open, it's no longer a blind spot. I'm going to get the feedback, but not just the feedback. I'm going to get the assistance. There will be men and women who come alongside of me and say, Jeremiah, we got you. We can see when you're getting to that spot, and we will help pull you back. We will support you because we know when you don't cross over that threshold and become angry and bitter and irritated, that you can do good work. Somebody out there will see that. They will be alongside and they will support me. And I need that support. Absolutely, I need that support. The third thing, I got to listen to the feedback. And that's hard, especially when I'm irritated, emotional, frustrated, angry, whatever. I have got to listen to the feedback. And in doing so, I do the same three things that you have to do if you get feedback. I got to ask myself, does it fit? Does it not fit? Or do I need more information? It's yes, no, or maybe. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that right here with you so that you can see how it works. The feedback is, I'm getting a little judgmental. And I'm capable of doing that when I encounter naivete, especially for me when it's intentional naivete. Cool thing for me is I can now, because I'm doing this exercise with you, I can now see some of those pitfalls that I might fall into if I'm not paying attention. I'll give you an example, an easy example. When somebody comes at me and is pretending to be naive, I can tease that out more. Why? Just because I'm listening. I'm acknowledging my deficiency. I will increase my patience for that kind of stupidity and naivete. And if I've discovered that you're doing it on purpose, then you're just being a jerk. And I don't need to waste my time, energy, and resources on you. You're not interested anyway. Because if you're going to intentionally be destructive, harmful, hateful, sorry, you're a person I'm going to love from a distance. I have no desire to love you up close. I will love you. I am just going to love you from a distance because you're not safe to love up close. So I'm not interested. Once I decide whether it fits or not, I have to decide what to do about it. If it doesn't fit, I'm going to dismiss it. I can't dismiss it too quickly just in case it fits, but I am going to dismiss it because people will tell me or you or whoever things that are just not going to fit. If somebody, I remember the first time in a podcast, in the aftermath of a podcast, when somebody told me that I should die. And I was like, wait a minute. No, that doesn't fit. Is it sad that somebody would devalue a life so much so that they would just flippantly say you should die? Yeah, that's sad, but not for me. It's sad for that person. That person's life is so sad and pathetic, passing a little judgment. Hopefully that's not too much, that they want me to die because they are so sad and pathetic. I mean, let's be real, folks. That is really sad, but it's not sad for me. I then have to decide what to do if it does fit. If somebody gives me feedback and it fits, like I'm being judgmental. I have to then figure out, okay, what are my morals around judging other people as a clinician, as a Christian, as a man, as a whatever you are, you fill in the blanks for you. For me, it's really simple. As a person walking this planet, there are some things that I just believe. I believe that morally, it's not my place to judge because I don't know your experiences perfectly, nor would I ever. That doesn't mean that I have to love you up close. Now, I have some say in that part, that relational aspect, because if you're intentionally being naive, I'm sorry, but like I don't really want to be around you. I'm not interested in being around people who choose to stagnate their life, who choose hate, vitriol, evil. I'm not interested. And so you would be somebody I would love at a distance. And I keep saying I'd love at a distance. You'd be like, well, you can't love evil. True. What I can do, though, is that tip of the day. You are more important than the issue. I think of the story when Jesus gets off the boat and this man is at the beach or wherever they are, and he's filled with evil. And Jesus casts the evil into the herd of pigs. The man was more important than the evil, the issue. Now, I'm not Jesus. I like to my knowledge, I've never had the potential to be able to cast out demons. I'm not sure I want that responsibility. I mean, I wish I could for the sake of our world. And that comes with a massive responsibility, folks. So for me, I have to look at what are my morals. I'm going to love up close when it's safe for me to do so. And when it's not, I'm going to love at a distance. Now, those demons couldn't be in the presence of Jesus. So he cast them into the pigs and they ran off. I believe they jumped into the ocean, something like that. For me, since I don't have the ability to remove the demons from a person, I have to say, I'm not going to associate with you if I don't have to. And if the good Lord puts me in front of you over and over and over again, maybe somehow the Lord will use my existence to cast out the demons. I don't know. But I have to behave in a way that's consistent with my morals. Morally, I don't believe it's right for me to be your judge. Just like morally, I don't think it's right for you to be my judge. And there's a lot of people out there pretending that they are the judge and the jury, that they can decide that Charlie Kirk was an evil man, that Charlie Kirk was a great man. I actually don't know that we get to judge that. My morals would suggest that that is beyond me. What I can do is assess his body of work and say his life trajectory pointed in this general direction. Do I agree with that general direction or not? Does it fit within my moral structures? And the amount of talking about biblical truths that Charlie Kirk did, well, that part of his experience here does fit my moral structures. There are some other parts where I have some question marks, and it's not my place to judge. So I look at those parts where there's, a divergence, and I say, so me as an imperfect man, could I be wrong? And maybe he's right. I also say, could he be wrong? And maybe I'm right. And when I come across those, that's when I have great conversation opportunities, great growth opportunities. As would you if you were willing to own and accept your own flaws, which is what I'm trying to set the example for you today to do. Ask yourself these kinds of questions. What is wrong with me? Ask yourself that. When you get into the moral discussion, you get to have the best conversations, in my opinion. Because now we're talking about the things that matter the most: God, family, friends, relationships. We're talking about education and opportunity and growth. We're talking about others and ourselves. We're talking about love and hate. We're talking about evil and righteousness. These things that actually matter in conversation. We're talking about individuals and groups. We're talking about governance and politics and the right to be wrong and to learn in the process. These are all big topics, folks. We could talk about economics. There's so many perspectives around economics. Because when we talk about the things that actually matter the most, truly are important, man, that's when we get good crap done. Now, we can't get stuck only in philosophy and theory. Those conversations have to lead to actions. For those of you who have celebrated the death of a man who had children and a wife, I implore you, do some self-searching. Some people suggest that if you could encounter baby Hitler when he was real young and kill him and never have Hitler rise to the prominence that he rose to, would you do it? Unfortunately, a lot of people out in our culture right now think that they have the ability to influence in that way. Somebody comes along, calls somebody Hitler, and they say, well, let's get him before we can't. That's a horrible way of looking at the world. Because at the end of the day, if you make that wrong decision, you have to answer for that. And you might be like, well, it's worth it. How many baby Hitlers are you going to have to kill? Folks, there's a lot of people who think they are the judge and the jury right now that should be asking, what in the hell is wrong with me? Why do I believe I can tell the state of somebody else's soul? And this falls on both ends of a spectrum. People who have put Charlie Kirk on a pedestal that he would probably not agree with. And people who put Charlie Kirk in the depths of hell, which also probably is incorrect. If you think you're the best judge, you are the problem. Just like I was leaning in the direction of becoming. I'm telling you, this is a flawed person trying to help other flawed people, to increase your introspection, to improve your ability to love, care for other people. Folks, if you follow my example that I just went through today, I do believe you will be a better person because of it. I hope this helps you. Please share this with anybody who needs it. I'm not in here to tell you what to believe. I'm in here to talk to you about processes. I'm showing you a process today. I'm happy to talk about what I think you should believe. At the end of the day, you have to make that call. Please share this with anybody who needs it. Let's help people get better at life, healthier in their approaches. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful day. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate our audience a lot, so we give you some simple ways to track us down. Please like, subscribe, and follow all the podcasts on different platforms, but you can also email us at healthyperspectives@protonmail.com, or you can check out our website at healthy-perspectives.com/podcast. It's a backward slash. So if you want to go to our landing page, if you go to healthy-perspectives.com, you'll still find us. You just got to click on the podcast button. Thank you so much.